Dalmatian Street.
Well, it's official now. Dante can break the fourth wall. He's aware that he is living in a cartoon. Suddenly his gloomy demeanor makes a lot more sense. Here it is, a summer to remember, the long-awaited 101 Dalmatian Street summer special. Though I'm not sure if the summer in the title is supposed to refer to the season or the character introduced in this episode. Yeah, kinda funny how that went. Everyone in the fandom kept calling her the mysterious girl or gave her some nickname ever since we got that preview for this episode. And then it turns out that this mysterious girl from the summer special is named Summer. Huh. Last time I checked, Summer is a direwolf of King Bran the Broken, who was probably only killed off in Game of Thrones because he was too expensive to animate. And here's your monthly reminder that Game of Thrones Season 8 sucked. Well, to be fair, Summer died in Season 6. Seriously, we can't get the Winter of Winter soon enough, but back to the summer episode. So it starts off innocently enough with a song, even though Dylan says that they don't have enough time for a song. Silly Dylan, this is a two-part special, so of course you can squeeze in a song. Now that Scouting Dolly's rap from Poetry Scam, I suppose it's the first proper musical number of the series, and it's fun. It immediately gives us some insight in how Dolly and Dylan approach it, with Dolly being excited for the beach, while Dylan is overthinking everything, being way too worried, if not even afraid, of leaving the town. Besides that, you have your standard road trip song with the kids asking their parents if they are there yet. Probably the funnest thing about it is though the piss break. I, however, really wonder though what the bus driver is thinking during all of this. Not only during the song, he stays in the bus the entire time, even sleeping there. Imagine you had to drive 101 dogs around and stay with them for an entire weekend. I'm sure that wasn't in his job description. Now, on their way to Cornwall, Dylan catches the eyes of Summer, and both are apparently immediately interested in each other. And when they finally arrive, it starts to rain. Well, at least they got that part right about Britain.
Is there always fog like this in Britain?
Oh my goodness, no. We have fog only when it isn't raining.
You Americans probably didn't even get that reference. Go and watch Asterix in Britain for Christ's sake. Or all of the animated Asterix movies for the matter. I choose to ignore the live action adaptations. In any case, after Dylan manages to set up the tent during the storm, which ends as soon as he is done, obviously because comedic timing, he gets approached by Summer, who comments on the spot on the seer that resembles the star constellation Canis Major. And yes, I know that Dipper from Gravity Falls has a great dipper on his forehead, and yes, I'm aware that he and Dylan have a couple of character traits in common. Who am I kidding? There's probably still someone who pointed out in the comments anyway. In any case, remember how Dylan was actually pretty confident when it came to talking to Portia? Well, now we get to see what happens when he isn't mentally prepared for it.
Yeah, of course I know.
Ooh, barf alert.
I'm just surprised someone's so
what?
far from civilization. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to be patronizing. Do you know what that means?
Dad, call your crew. Dylan's going down in flames.
Jesus Christ, that physically hurts me. By the way, this is Dylan throughout the entire episode, thinking that the locals are stupid, rude, distrustful, whatever, giving insensitive comments the entire time, only to realize that he might be accidentally insulting Summer in the process. So yeah, we kinda get to see the worst of Dylan being the somewhat arrogant guy who thinks that he is smarter than everyone else, and country bumpkins in particular, cause he is from the big city. I'm amazed that Summer even gives him the second thought after all of that. Well, Dylan tries to ask her out, only to screw it up, and there's a wasp on his nose, which introduces us to the next running gag of the episode.
And to think I was going to tell you about that wasp on your nose.
Throughout the episode, Delilah and Doug try to make out, only to get interrupted multiple times. Like these two didn't already have enough puppies to take care of already. Well, in any case, it's pretty cute and funny, so I give them that. Really, Delilah and Doug are just precious and need more screen time. In any case, Dylan bumps into this cow named Bessie and is just as insulting towards her as towards Summer, though probably even more so.
Oh, Dante, cows are the only locals I am not worried about. So harmless, super dumb, and...
Bro, you are on a roll. Certainly is.
Oh, she probably didn't even understand me. Watch. Do you speak dog?
Moo, moo, moo. Nah, just joking, my loverly.
She plays along in a somewhat sarcastic way until the other puppies accidentally throw stuff at her while playing. This drives her mad. Not that Dylan would notice as she tries to play nice in front of them, with only Dante seeing her true face, who gets ignored by Dylan because Bessie's obviously so nice. Well, as it turns out, Bessie is the main antagonist of the special, manipulating everything in the background to get her revenge on the puppies. That she immediately starts to dislike them is rather understandable, considering that Dylan keeps insulting her, while his siblings physically hurt her, even if they didn't mean to. So yeah, you can see why she would mess with them a bit. It started off innocently enough, as she just gives Dylan wrong directions, which put Dylan through a lot of trouble, the rest realizing that something is off about the route and deciding to take a different one. It gets a bit worse when Bessie tells DZ and DD about a pirate treasure in a dangerous cave, which puts them in more than just a bit of danger. And later she even says that she didn't expect to see any of them again. So yeah, she gave them directions in hopes that they would die. And when this doesn't work, she takes a more hands-on approach, as she pushes the bus with all the puppies inside, save Dylan and Dolly, down a cliff. Oh, and the bus driver as well. So let me reiterate. In context of the show, the scout tried to kill 99 children, their parents, and their bus driver, who doesn't really have anything to do with all of that, just because they were somewhat rude to her and accidentally hit her with some boards. I was told people like it when cartoons get dark. Well, this is as dark as they can get. Heck, at least Cruella could at least rationalize her actions that she was only after some mindless animal she wanted to turn into a goat. Also considering that Cornwall is a pretty popular place for tourists, isn't it a bit weird that we don't see any humans there besides the bus driver? Did Bessie murder them all? Anyway, they made it to the beach as Summer told them that they are going into the wrong direction, only Dylan being stubborn enough to take Bessie's words as facts. Yet he somehow makes it eventually. At the beach we get introduced to a dog named Spike. No, not that one. Yeah, this one. Well, Spike is kinda noteworthy as he's voiced by Ollie Murs, apparently a British musician or something like that. Frankly, never heard of him before, but he seems like a cool dude. They uploaded a video hyping up his appearance on the show months ago on the Disney Channel UK YouTube channel. So I guess his inclusion is a rather big deal.
Spike is there to save the day.
He does nothing, like really. He tries to help at that one point, but in the end that fails and he has to be saved as well. He's basically just there so Dolly has a romantic interest. I hope they bring him back at some point, cause it seems to me like they wasted a perfectly good guest down nothing. He gets kinda overshadowed by Summer, who is really the star of this episode, getting way more screen time and accompanying Dylan when he goes out to save DZ and DD, as soon as he learns from Dante that they went to the dangerous cave. While they never elaborate on it, I think this is probably why Summer even gives Dylan the time of the day, as while he has a talent for always saying the wrong things about her, he is willing to risk his own life for his siblings. Especially when you watch their date later, it is somewhat implied by their dialogue.
Look carefully, and you can see the pup, the dog star's
Little sibling.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Me neither.
And yeah, the way Dylan cares for his family is an admirable trait, so I can see why Summer would be attracted to that. But that's just my speculation on the matter, cause I doubt that Dylan's comment on how not all locals are bad after they managed to save DZ and DD was enough to win her over. So they are looking at the stars. Spike and Dolly are also there, and then they notice that this bus is heading towards a cliff. You know, Bessie's murder attempt I mentioned earlier. It is not revealed until the end of the episode, but yeah. And this brings us to the end of part 1. Part 2 picks up right where part 1 left, obviously. They manage to stop the bus before it falls down the cliff, but as it is already on the edge and about to fall, they have to lose some weight. So the light and Doug sacrifice themselves for the children, but thanks to the power of pink flamingos, they survive.
What a rush!
Yeah, I'm tingling all over.
Me too!
You were quite the hero.
No, you were.
No, you!
All right, we both were. Hey, seems like we suddenly got our own private party island.
Why, Doug, I like your thinking. But shouldn't we be getting back?
What's the rush?
So here comes Spike's big moment. He knows where to get the boat to save them and gets stranded there alongside Dolly. And Doug basically spends the rest of the episode telling Dolly's new boyfriend some embarrassing stories about his little girl, which turns out to be surprisingly funny as Doug is obviously intentionally messing with his daughter. In the end, they use a tent as a parachute and use a rope to guide it, and it's actually kinda clever, so I give them that. I probably wouldn't do it in real life, but it works very fine in a cartoon. And they actually survive the whole ordeal even though a rope tears. It's a very close call, but they make it back to the beach and spend the next day partying.
I believe we're going home tomorrow. I hope it never comes. Tomorrow already? Hate it when that happens.
I know that feeling, way too real, man. Nights are too short. So Dylan and Dolly have to say goodbye to their love interest, and well, you remember that running gag of Delilah and Doug trying to kiss in private the entire time? I guess we can consider this a payoff to it.
I was so wrong about you locals.
Yeah, you were.
Bye!
Dolly, I'll see you soon.
Totally not jealous on Spike. Also, goddammit Dylan, this was your opportunity. Well, at least he booped her instead. So yeah, don't know what to say about it. It is pretty self-evident. Dolly got herself a kiss from a rather bland character. Again, I think Spike felt a bit wasted here. I think it might have been better if part 1 had been more about Summer and part 2 more about Spike, but in the end, there simply wasn't that much to do for him. The same, by the way, also applies to Dolly, who was also more of a supporting character. I would be hard-pressed to call a Summer to remember anything else than a Dylan episode. He takes the most active role in this episode, his relationship with Summer, who, by the way, is just adorable and she's also pretty clever. Frankly, the most negative thing I can say about her is that she put up with Dylan for so long. He certainly wasn't helping himself, but I suppose she's a good judge of character and noticed that he wasn't exactly meaning what he was saying and just a bit ignorant rather than mean-spirited. And hey, he learned his lesson at the end. You shouldn't be too judgmental and have no prejudices. Yet still be careful who you trust, as Dylan puts 2 and 2 together.
Wait, did you see that? Hate to say I told you so, but I'm gonna anyway. Told you so.
Hang on. The caves. The bus. The boat. The rope. Oh, Bessie?
Yeah-huh.
Wow, guess I got everyone wrong.
Yeah-huh.
Yeah, I suppose the lesson is to be open-minded and that first impressions can be deceiving, which also applies to Dylan, as his first impression on Summer was terrible. And with that being said, let's wrap things up. Admittedly, I somewhat expected this special to tie into the Hunter story arc in some fashion, which was obviously not the case, but it was still a lot of fun. Even if we got to see Dylan from what is pretty much his worst side. He at least got over it at the end. And hey, we got introduced to a couple of new and fun characters. I wonder if we get to see Summer and Spike again at some point. I suppose it's more likely that we get to see Summer again in season 2, at least that's what I'm hoping. And yeah, Bessie is just crazy. Wouldn't be surprised if she follows the Dalmatian back to London just to get her revenge. Fun 2-parter with good comedy and a totally wasted guest star. But what about you? Did you like this episode? Anything that bothered you? What are your thoughts on Spike and Summer? Let me know in the comments below. I am Dagger, and I still haven't said it on a catchphrase yet.
Sly as a fox, you got me under your spell. But you know I'll never tell that I know you know so well. Sometimes you can be too smart for all. You're